Man, what a day. What a day. I know you guys thought I was going to be probably hitting the bottle. I saved that bit for the really special losses. Today was just kind of like I don't know. I don't know what to feel with today's loss. It was one of those things where, when Miami plays a team that they're very clearly outnumbered by and outpowered by, that result has not bared fruit for them today. They got outgunned today by a Mavericks team that is better than them. And really, the Miami Heat were a big catapult for that. You look back at this Mavericks run with, I think they've won 16 out of 18 or something like that. That first win off of a losing streak that they had was against the Heat, and they really haven't looked back. And that duo of Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, dude, I mean they're breathtaking on offense. It really is. The thing that's sad about this season, this Heat team can't score. They can't. I mean, we can put this up and down. We could talk about, playoff Jim VP. We could talk about the defensive will. We could talk about defensive rating. My friends, it's the year of 2024. You need people who can go get you some buckets. And yes, it is nice to have Tyler Hero back, and he is very, very offensively skilled, and he is very talented, but he is not Luka Doncic, and he is not Kyrie Irving. And the Miami Heat's two stars of this team, Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler, watching them try to go shot for shot with Luka and Kyrie Irving, it's like they're playing two different sports. If you were to watch how breathtaking these guys are on offense in Luka and Kyrie, I don't even know what to I don't know what the proper analogy for it is. It's like, imagine they're all birds, right? But Luka and Kyrie on offense, they're swans. It's breathtaking to watch them fly. And while Bam Adebayo and Jimmy Butler are birds, they're like turkey vultures, rugged. The game is a little bit ugly. They'll muck it up. They'll fly anywhere. Not a lot of grace to it. They have beaks. They have wings. They're all birds, but it's, different. It's different. And so when I see this game and you have Bam Adebayo, who just, he couldn't hit anything. There was I don't know what superstition he crossed today to put that hex on the rim that he had, because he had looks today, man. I mean, Bam had looks today. He had some bunnies. He had some looks, and they just weren't dropping for him. This was not like a case of Bam Adebayo was going down shooting with his jumper. He was 3 for 13. I think he had 2 dunks, and it was just all floaters or, little hook shots, and they were going out, out, bounce on the back of the rim, out. I don't know what he did to deserve that today. That was really rough. And then Jimmy Butler, wow. I mean, in a game like this, Jim VP takes 8 shots. 8 shots. 8. 8 shots. That's crazy. 8 shots today. It's didn't get to the free throw line. Look, I get it. You're packing the paint on him, and he's going to try and make the right play. He tried to make the right play a little bit too much today. He was turning the ball over willy-nilly today. The Miami Heat are lucky that you, as a basketball fan, cannot take the basketball home a la baseball, because there would have been a lot of basketballs taken home today by Heat Nation. They threw, it had to be at least, what did they finish today with? 18 turnovers, the Miami Heat? It says 15 turnovers, but I think team turnovers, the whole total was 19. Yeah. 18 turnovers today for the Miami Heat. I would venture to guess 7 of those got chucked into the first row today. Like if a nefarious fan would have walked away with the basketball, and you couldn't have blamed them. So, there was like a little. How much you guys want to break this game down, right? Like if you're sticking around for this and you're sticking around for my channel and you want enraged Tobin, I'm not feeling that. I'm not feeling enraged. I'm not feeling positive. I'm not. Maybe melancholy is the word. A little bit blue. It was there today. I'll tell you this. I'll paint a scene for you. So, boots on the ground today, and we're in the Heat locker room after the loss today, and Jimmy Butler did not speak to the media, which people want to make a thing about it. You don't want to make a thing about it. If I'm Jimmy, if I'm in his shoes, I take 2 minutes to talk, but he didn't. And is it a great look? There are better looks to be had, for sure. However, the funny thing is about Jimmy Butler is like when he says he doesn't speak to the media, it's not like he hides initially. He's in his locker and he's just chilling. And he's got sometimes he's got his phone playing some music. And we're all sitting there. It was a very weird post-game vibe today because, like, nobody was in there. It was, like, eerily... Spo took a little bit long to talk, but it wasn't, like, the longest he's taken this year. And they go and they're like, hey, media tells you Bam and Tyler are going to come to the room. That means they're going to go to the podium room. Kevin Love may speak in the locker room. Jimmy's going to pass tonight. All right, whatever. But Jimmy's in there, and he's got his music playing. And there's just this point where, like, there's a lot of bodies in there because you have the whole Bally crew in there. You have the beat writers. You have, you have some columnists that are even there today. Not even just beat writers. You have some columnist royalty in the locker room today. And there's just nobody in the Heat locker room. It's just there's just a point where there's I think at one point like Jovic and Jaquez walk in, they get dressed, they vamoose out of there. I saw Patty Mills at one, but then like I'm standing, kind of just waiting for anybody to talk, and all of a sudden Jimmy Butler, you just hear like his music. He's got country music playing, and some of it was, but then it was like it goes to this really sad riff of Bailey Zimmerman. If you guys don't know him, I really enjoy his music. He's got a really, he's got like a really soulful voice. And he's got this one song of, I think it's called "You Don't Want That Smoke," and it's got like this really like, and you're just thinking about like how this loss is going. And he's just got this rugged, we just lost to Luka. Can't outscore Kyrie. You don't want that smoke. And I'm just sitting here and I just couldn't help myself, but I just like burst out laughing in the locker room and everybody's like looking at me weird. But it was just funny to me that like in the midst of this locker room, nobody's around, nobody is talking. We're all just sitting here looking at each other, staring at each other, and there's just this Jimmy Butler country playlist that's going, and it gets to one of the, while very talented, one of the more somber singers in country music today, and it was just funny. It was a funny moment. So anyway, Bam, he said, didn't come out with that sense of urgency. How that has happened countless amount of times this season is beyond me. Probably I would guess has a little bit to do with the fact that they've had like 37 starting lineups this year. I would venture to guess that has something to do with it. I know nobody wants to probably hear that because it's like, hey, best players go do best player things. Hey, agreed. That's what Dallas did. But they've had a lot more continuity. And Dallas, look, those dudes came out today, especially Luka, like right away is just going rainbow bombs away on the Miami Heat. And I just got to feel like when you see him hit a first couple of those, you got to think to yourself, oh boy, this is going to be a long night. this is going to be a long night. And it was. There was a little furious rally, which you knew there was going to be. You could ask. I was sitting next to my boy Ethan today. He's like, what do you think this game's going to be? I said, probably like 7 points in the first quarter. At some point, there'll be a furious rally, and they'll end up coming up short. He's a witness. You can go ask him. But that was my game breakdown today of what I was feeling with this one. But they had their furious rally, and the big caveat for that was catalyst for that was Kevin Love. He was incredible, and Kevin Love in so many ways is just so obviously the leader of this team. Like, even when the team gets down 20, he's like in the locker, he's like in the huddle, like, clapping in everybody's face to get their bleep together. And that's not, it wasn't, I was doing the thing today where like, I was wondering if this was going to be a game where Miami was going to maybe crack like emotionally. No, I don't think so. I think that they all held together. I think there was some chattiness and some guys having the right attitude, and they were they were able to get it to a respectable point. Tyler Hero hits a 3, gets it to 94-86 with about 8 minutes left. Then vibes were good, man. They go to the Jumbotron. There's this dude who should be on the Golden Oldies who was just cranking it to Soulja Boy. I mean, and just doing it marvelous. He looks like he should be off in Key West somewhere, goop on his nose, but this Intangibles was just killing it, owning it to Soulja Boy. And they go to this timeout. Spo tries to squeeze a little bit more juice out of the this lineup. Of course, you get a quick 5-0 run by the Mavs, so they're up 13 now, 7 minutes left. And you bring in Bam and Jimmy, and really they didn't have anything to give. Like, it was Jimmy starting off with a jumper to cut it to 11, and then he gets a baseline. He passes it right to PJ Washington. Jimmy was a big fan of passing it to people who weren't his teammates today. It was a bad performance by both him and Bam. They really, really stunk up the joint. They were really, really bad. So yeah, not a great performance by Miami. Not a great performance by Miami. It was 2 minutes left. This was such a slap in the face. Like in today's NBA, like 15 points, 2 minutes left. Something could still happen. And Jason Kidd's like, you're not going to do anything. And he emptied his bench. And Tyler Hero responded to this disrespect by throwing it into the front row. So Jason Kidd was right. He really had nothing to fear. He had nothing to fear in this moment. So let's take a look at the situation Miami's in right now. By the way, Spo says after the game he does not care about standings.
Our guys we all want the same thing. And sometimes, this league it can just really humble you. And that's what happened tonight. So we're going to regroup. We've had to do that several times this year, and we keep on finding a way to bounce back. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to focus on the next 48 hours to get ready for another battle. I don't even care what's going on in the standings. I just want, our team playing the way we're capable of playing, and that's what we're going to look to do these last two games.
Bam, he was asked by Ira Winderman about the reality of the play-in, and Bam is not ready to throw in the play-in towel yet.
Everybody in here collect themselves.
Go out, get some South Beach sun, get your mind off it, and recuperate.
Is the reality starting to hit home that as much as you wanted to push out of the play-in, that it might again have to be sort of the road less traveled, the harder road to get to where you want to go?
I wouldn't say reality sets in because we take it a game at a time. You never know what can happen. Biggest thing for us to get these last two.
So with this, Miami finds themselves still alive because Orlando lost today badly to a Giannis-less Milwaukee Bucks team. So for Miami to be sixth, this is what needs to happen. This is from the Herald, Barry Jackson. And the Heat need to win their last two against Toronto. I'm fully awaiting Kelly Olynyk to light us up from three. Orlando needs to lose their last two, and that is Philadelphia and Milwaukee. So, yeah, losable game. They just lost to Milwaukee. Maybe Milwaukee will be in a scenario where they don't have to play anybody on Sunday. But they did just lose to Milwaukee without Giannis. Could happen again. Philadelphia is red hot right now. Not impossible. But here's the caveat. Apparently Miami, and I didn't know this. This was my ignorance. I thought that a division winner got to avoid the play-in. That's apparently not the case. If the 76ers don't lose their final game, let's say they win their final two, Miami would still be in the play-in. They would host a 7-8 play-in. So that's where Miami's at. They not only need to win their last two, they need Orlando to lose their last two, and they need Philly to lose their last game. And that would put Miami in 6th. How much faith could you have in it right now? Not great, Bob. Not much. If Philly ends up winning, 2 Orlando losses, 2 Heat wins, and a Philly loss to Brooklyn, Miami would be 6 because they're the 3-team tiebreaker. If Philly beats Orlando in the Nets and Orlando loses again to the Bucks and the Heat win its last two, Miami would host the Magic in the 7-8 play-in game. But that's where they're at right now. It's they're in a tough spot. It seems very much like they are headed to the play-in, which, look, if Miami wanted to, there's a couple things. First of all, Miami's not very good at home. I don't know what that is this year. They have one of their best road records ever. They were very good on the road this year. They have been bad at home this year. If Miami just wanted to go the route of using this weekend to rest, to get ready for a Tuesday playing game, or possibly, I think even if it's in Philly, I think I saw Ira tweet that there's an Islander or there's a Flyers game on Tuesday, so they'd have to wait till Wednesday to do a Philly-hosted play-in game. So if that's the case, you'll get Monday, Tuesday off anyway, but you'd have to travel. If you were in the position to know that you're going to be in the play-in no matter what, yeah, you might as well just use it to rest. I don't know. I'm sure Miami will give it one more crack on Friday, give it the old Spo try, as he says he's not worried about standings. He wants to get his team to play right. But yeah, this was a pretty disheartening performance from just jump. You just this is what's going to happen. They're going to hit crazy shots, and you're going to be throwing it into the bleachers. And I get it. Miami, second night of a back-to-back plus double overtime. Really had to squeak that one out. But, same scenario for Dallas. No one's going to want to hear that mopiness all around. And by the way, Kyrie Irving gets himself $1 million bonus because they got to 50 wins. I believe that 4 or 5 is locked in now. Clippers and Mavericks. But he was shouting as he lives up, $1 million bonus. Which, is annoying. I know there's some Heat fans today who are chirping about not having Kyrie Irving. And I get you. Kyrie Irving was could have been had on the cheapskis last year in the trade market. Then you would have had to extend him. Shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. I don't know what to tell you. That Mark Cuban today was perusing around the building. God, I don't care for him at all. So it was funny. I was editing a video from the pregame of Jason Kidd talking about Yo. I asked him about Jokic before the game. And so he goes, "Oh, hello, Mr. Cuban." And he walks behind me, and I kind of could feel the room did feel like it got colder, like a vampire walked in. So I'm like, what is he even doing here? Doesn't he not own the Mavericks anymore? I thought he sold his majority of the Mavericks. Get him the hell out of here. Mark Cuban. It's like, oh yeah, good. Congratulations, Kyrie. I'm not paying that bonus. The majority owners are, but good show, Kyrie. Good show. Oof.